Hello and welcome to another episode of the Raccoon Release Radar. Today we're covering February 23rd to March 1st. We got a lot of good games this week, including quite a few different horror visual novels and other visual novels, so if you're into that, there's a lot of good ones here, but there's plenty for everyone on this week's list as well. First, we have Miya Might Break. This is the first of the horror visual novels I was speaking about, and it is a psychological horror visual novel that comes in at about 30 minutes as far as game time, but it does have 3 different endings. It seems to be focusing on a lot of themes of dread and compulsion, and it definitely seems like there's darker themes here, so if that's not something you would enjoy, you might want to skip this one, but if it is what you enjoy, I think you probably know that, and this is one that you would want to check out. Next, coming out on February 24th in Early Access, we have Last Mage. This seems to be a combination of Vampire Survivors and Backpack Heroes, where you have an inventory management style of game going into how you're building your Vampire Survivors Bullet Heaven style of weapons. I enjoy the art style, and I like the idea of having that inventory management on top of the normal gameplay for a Vampire Survivors game. It definitely is an interesting take on it. Last week we had a sort of inventory management style game where you were chaining together items to do your Vampire Survivors stuff. This is more direct, like Backpack Hero style inventory management, where you have to fit the items into your backpack and rotate them, and you can only carry what you can actually fit into your build. So that is another additional thing to add on top of that I think will be cool. And in early access, it'll be interesting to see how they update it and listen to the player feedback as it comes out. Also on February 24th, we have Novel Haven. This is a game where you are running a bookstore on a little lighthouse. You play all these little mini games while you're managing and decorating your bookstore, and it seems like overall a good cozy game that has a lot of variety in how you're actually playing it to get those things to do the decoration. If you're looking for a game just to relax with, this seems like a very great game to do that with. Also coming up on February 24th, we have Emberbane. This is a metroidvania game that has a 4 elements theming to it. So the main character has different relics and different abilities tied to air, fire, earth, and water. And the game also apparently has 4 different endings. I don't know that those 4 endings are tied to the elements, but thematically it would make sense if they kind of were. I don't know exactly how the endings are chosen, if you're having stories, like direct choices in the story that you're making, or if it's based on like if you do certain quests, or if you use different abilities. And I'm not sure exactly how it differentiates the endings, but I always love a good Metroidvania, and I always love a good game that has those multiple endings for replayability, as well as a game that seems to have a lot of build diversity, so if you were to replay it, you would have a different experience going into it. Looking at footage of the gameplay, it looks smooth and fun to play, so if you're a fan of Metroidvanias, go take a look at Emberbane. Coming up also on February 24th, we have another one of those horror visual novels I was talking about, No More Work for Ito. No More Work for Ito seems to play like a point-and-click style visual novel where you're doing an all-nighter at work and also investigating a murder that happened and a missing coworker that you're not supposed to talk about. The footage of this game on Steam make it look very creepy, and I have no idea where the story's going from just the little that we see in the trailers here, but it sets up a mystery in an interesting way that I can't wait to see how it plays out. On February 25th, there's a game that fans of the channel will recognize from the fact that I've been playing it quite a lot on the channel. Dice A Million is coming out. Dice A Million is a numbers go up roguelike in the style of Balatro, where you are building a deck of dice to roll. You get rings to put on your fingers while you're rolling the dice that change your build, and once you get these crazy builds, you end up rolling some massive numbers, and it just is really a game where the dopamine just hits one after another after another. You keep having these great runs, or bad runs, but even when you have bad runs, it feels good. The amount of time I've spent with this game so far, I cannot wait for you all to get your hands on it. It is insanely good. On February 27th, Cards and Castles Ultimate comes out. This is a multiplayer card battling game, although it does have a single-player story as well. It plays on a grid system, and you are trying to protect your castle while attacking the other person's castle, building a deck of cards to help you do that. It has a very cute art style. It is the 3rd game in the Cards and Castles series, so fans of the series will probably already be excited for the game, but if you're not sure, go check out the first 2 and see if you enjoy them, so you can know if Cards and Castles Ultimate is going to be the kind of game that you're interested in. But it is a cute art style, and it's always good time to have a game like this to play with friends, just so you can tell them that you're better than them when you win. Also coming out on February 27th, we have One Man's Junk. One Man's Junk is a hidden item game, it seems like, where you're walking around this open world and looking for items to trade up from a paperclip to a car. So it's kind of like one long trading quest, trading sequence type quest in like you would see in like a Legend of Zelda or those type of games where you're getting one item, getting the next item, trading it to the next person, and trying to get a car. It's got a very cute hand-drawn art style, and I love the concept of having to explore this open world to trade up for a car. It's very concise as far as the selling points or the pitch for this game, and to me, it immediately gets me locked into something that I think would be very fun to play. Next up, coming out on February 27th, is Thaw. This game is, as far as this week goes, the one that sticks out to me as the most unique. It is a part mining game, part visual novel, where you are mining for ore, and the deeper that you are going into the mine, you get more story from this visual novel, and the art style of these characters, the way that they're drawn, is just beautiful. It seems so relaxing. I love visual novels, and I love these cozy mining games. On top of it, there being a story being told about these three brothers and the succession to the throne, this seems like the type of game that is going to go under people's radars, and it shouldn't. It looks beautiful, it looks interesting, and I cannot wait to see more from this game. Finally, coming out on February 27th, we have Just Dismantle. Just Dismantle gives me the vibes of Power Washing Simulator, except for in this game, you are dismantling entire maps. You're going around with your dismantling beam and shooting things and making them explode, collecting their innards and turning those pieces into new gear as well as new maps to go on and explore. I'm a big fan of these kind of games where you just go around and clean stuff out and just end with like an empty big map. I don't know why, but that's deeply satisfying to me. And seeing the large swath of maps that seem to be available in this game to dismantle, I quite like the idea of going in and dismantling. As a raccoon, of course, I like trash, and I like creating trash, and I like eating trash, and you know, this game seems like the type of game that's going to let me eat a lot of trash. Overall, not as busy a week as we've been seeing on the past few weeks, but there are quite a few games coming out that I'm really interested in. Of course, Dice A Million is, I think, for me, the standout of the week as far as just what I think I'm going to be playing the most of. I've already been playing a lot of it because I got an early code from the devs. Of course, they're not making me say all this about it, but just because I've had it early, I've been playing it a lot because it's very good. I've put hours into it already, and I cannot wait to put more hours into it, and you'll probably see more videos of it on this channel. The rest of the games all look amazing as well, so take a look at these 10 games that are coming out this week, pick which one you think is going to be the most interesting, go give it a wish list on Steam and potentially buy it when it comes out, and as always, eat some trash and do some science for me, and I'll see you tomorrow with another video, and again next week with 10 more indie games for you to check out. Have a great day, and I will see you guys next time.